Hey guys, so in this video we are building a 450 square foot paver patio. We start by excavating out about 10 inches here, doing it with the dingo just because the access back to this backyard through the gate was fairly small, and just checking it out with the dingo and dumping it into the dump trailer seemed to be the most efficient option rather than digging with an excavator and then having any other mini to get out the gate. We tore a track off, got some stone loaded as we were getting the track fixed. Track is back in action. We're moving some rock. Put a filter fabric down. 10 cot Marafi is good for the clay soils. Got all our rock in. Building up the grade now. Spreading some rock here. I like to spread it as I go, just kind of keep it even, build it up in lifts as we compact. This patio had about 6.5 to 7 inches of backfill to it. We're using a 57 open graded base. That's a 57 wash granite stone. I found that this is probably the best option for patio installs for longevity. Pretty tight to get back out of the gate. It's not so bad coming in. Just got some plywood out, but to keep the grass from dying. But it's definitely a tight access back here. So now that we've got everything on grade, we're going to start compacting. Once we do one round of compaction, we'll put some water to it. As you're about to see, we'll put the water to it and fill in any little voids that I find on the compactor. Put the water to it and then compact again. We'll do that 3 times, basically until the tamper is kind of bouncing on everything and there's not any grooves in the lines where we're compacting at. You can still kind of see the grooves there, so we'll do it one more time and it should be good to go. We'll put our screed bars down and screed out our 78 stone. Take the shovel and trowel and fill those voids in before we start to lay. So this is right before we start to lay. I always like to leave 2 or 3 poles in at the end just in case something gets off and messed up. I can go back and fix it. I always like to start in a 90-degree corner if I can, and then start working out of that, and then that way everything's square. I knew the patio concrete was a little off square, so that's why I started there in the corner and kind of worked my way out versus starting at the patio and working into that corner. That way you don't have any small cuts against the house or against the patio. everything's kind of uniform. And I like laying to just a random pattern rather than using the pattern that's in the book. I just kind of build it as I go. Just try to keep from having 4 corners as much as possible. Not too many straight lines. I don't mind doing them, but just kind of trying to break it up as we go. So I'll just let you guys watch the time lapse from here. So this is the finished laying product before we do any cuts. I guess we did cut in our corners before that video. We always like to use the water hose just right on the saw. Seems to make the dust and mess a little easier to deal with. We're just cutting in the border here against the patio. It was a little off, so the concrete just kind of had a little bow in it, so we're working that bow out to keep everything as straight as we can. And then here we start with our poly sand. We just lay it in like a zigzag pattern, sweep it all in, and then we'll run the compactor over it once we get done sweeping it in and settle everything in, and then fill it up again to the top before we wet it in. Getting the pad on the compactor here, and then we'll start compacting. So this is after everything's wet in, I think the first time. This is the second time. I love the way this patio turned out. This onyx natural and cold border with the textured finish is a nice little touch to the smooth pattern of the ledge stone. This is all Cambridge. Thought this turned out really nice. Thanks for watching.